We're rolling.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. This is episode 36. We are sponsored by Fightback CBD. You can now get 20% off your CBD order. It was 15. They've raised it to 15 for us. Appreciate you, Justin.
Thank you.
Get 20% off your CBD order at fightbackcbd.com with code JJD.
Highly suggested.
Very much appreciated support. You're also going to see his logo at the beginning of our episodes now. He is our title sponsor, so Thank you for all your support, Justin.
We animated him now.
Yes.
Nice.
He flips our logo now in the beginning.
He's in motion, yeah.
My name is Milton Campus. I am a purple belt out of Fight Sports Coral Springs. You can check me out on Instagram at Uncle Milty BJJ. Joining me for my for co-hosting duties, Drew Phoenix.
Drew Phoenix, black belt, A&M Jiu Jitsu. Even for a lot of they'll come train.
IG?
Oh, at Drew_Phoenix. And the academy is at A&M BJJ, spelled out.
So one thing that I forgot to talk about, thank you for coming back again. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Love having you part of the show.
Yes.
One of the things that I remember that we didn't talk about, we are you'll see the logo on the scroll. The show is a We Defy ambassador.
Nice.
You were part of it. You trained at a gym that closed. They were a We Defy gym.
Yeah, I'm working on getting mine too.
That's my question. Are you gonna be? Because I don't know if you saw their recent ambassador newsletter that just comes out to us. Mm-hmm. They raised so much money that they're like, I don't want to get this wrong. Excuse me, but it should almost double the amount of scholarships that they're going to award this year. Or the month,
because
the
they
number went up
stopped.
exponentially.
They stopped during COVID, so are they going to open it back up?
They're opening it back up
for sure.
And the number, because of the money that they've raised, the funds that they've raised, is going to go up.
Because I got some vets in the bullpen ready to go.
Yeah, well, look at the last newsletter that came from TJ.
Right.
I believe it's TJ and/or Antonio.
Anthony. TJ's good.
Anthony's also kind of our local Southwest region guy. Yeah. So, but check it out. So yeah, I wasn't sure if you there it is. Yeah. I wasn't sure if your gym was if you've gone through the application process for A&M.
Yeah, no, not yet.
Okay,
because it's like head instructor. It's new business.
I get it. No,
crazy.
I get it.
Yeah, but we're working on that. And if you're a vet, please train.
Yeah. And last but not least, Bo behind the camera. Say hello to the carbon-based life forms, Bo.
Hello, carbonites.
I purposely brought that up because I started to remember the other day I was watching Ancient Aliens, and you and I, early in our business career,
yes,
we used to I did sales and he did the artwork and the websites and stuff like that. Early in our business relationship, we used to just leave the phone on, we'd call each other. I don't think we did it I don't think we had the conferencing. We would just leave the phone on and work and talk. And I always had the TV on. He'd always have the TV on in the background, and we used to put Ancient Aliens on. And then we would just be working. I'd be selling. But you know what Ancient Aliens is? Right? Yeah. So it made me think of that.
So when I screwed up a job for a client, I would just tell them it was aliens.
Yeah, right. It's an alien in your logo. Don't ask me why. But Bo, did you see this movie, The Phenomenon?
No, not yet.
You know what I'm talking about, The Phenomenon? They were on Rogan recently.
No.
I forget the guy's name. I think the last name's Frank.
I think I need to catch up.
That's
I've been
John
doing
Travolta,
so much
right?
politics.
This is
John Travolta?
No, that's Phenomenon. No, but this is a documentary called The Phenomenon.
About aliens?
It is all of the recent stuff that's come out, that the government has been releasing.
They released, the government released 2 million UFO reports, but this is the government's reports. This includes Air Force, Navy, all this shit.
If you're into it in any way, shape, or form, which I am, I like that kind of the ancient alien theory. Yeah. But this goes into just kind of a lot about the sightings and the government, military guys coming out and talking about it and how they were told to cover it. I mean, it goes all the way back to Roswell. I know there have been other documentaries like this, but they have.
Well, now with all this new information, absolutely. Yeah,
new information, new videos that released, Navy saying yes, that legit, that was a unidentified flying object. We don't know what it was. Details about how ships are coming out of the water. It was crazy.
Now they call them unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Is it ATIP or something
UAPs,
now it's called?
UAP.
They're always changing names of shit.
It is. It is probably the best. And
well, Pluto's not a planet anymore, so
supposedly
those movies and documentaries typically have this kind of like, oh, really? Come on, kind of feel to it. Like,
well, because you get
really
the conspiracy
that guy
thing.
Talking.
Kinda,
yeah,
we're so used to hearing conspiracy theory that now everything we hear is like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory.
You've got legitimate people that are recently either left or still in government being interviewed. Great movie. I just finished it last night. Great movie. I got it on Prime.
On Prime.
Oh,
on Prime. I know it's on
iTunes.
I paid for it. I paid for it on Prime.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Download, right?
It was like $1.99 on Prime, but I couldn't get it through the TV, so I had to. It was like $3.99 through. Like I had to do it in the app, and then I could see it on the TV. I don't know why it's been doing that to me. It was. I'm a big fan of that kind of that kind of genre, that kind of doc. So it was well worth it. So
I love aliens.
So all right. So listen, joining us in a few, we're gonna have Jason on from Jiu-Jitsu FiveO. They're he is running an IG. They're a training and apparel company. You can also visit them at jiujitsu50.com. It's a company that promotes the jiu-jitsu lifestyle for police officers, not only the training, but then they also have apparel and things like that. But we'll be able to get into some of the things that they're doing, but I think it's really cool. Check them out. You can check them out at jiujitsu5. You'll spell out 5, FIVE_O. So at jiujitsu50. One of the things
is that based on the Hawaii FiveO?
Well, so where does do you know where the FiveO thing comes from?
That's from
FiveO came from something. I think
police.
It was at the number, but was that the number like in Hawaii or in someplace?
FiveO is I think FiveO stands for police. So Hawaii
but the FiveO
was,
came from dialing 50 at some point before it was 911, or like in Hawaii, like it was you dialed 50 for that
something
for the
like
police,
that, right?
And then it grew to that, and then Hawaii.
But where did 12 come from?
12, you mean 911?
No. You know how?
What do you mean?
Especially kids, like I think in Chicago, they're like 12. Like they call police 12.
I don't know. Is it like now? Can you do like hashtag or like star?
Well, that might be from
number?
like the codes 1112. It's like is it a
emergency
or a 1012? I'm sorry, 1012. Like a 1053 is an accident, right? I think that's in New York police. I think it's here too. 1053. 1020 would be like you're going to have food, so 1012, whatever that might mean.
All right.
We
got to find out about that.
Yeah.
All right.
The tyrants are coming.
So, my dad was a cop, so I love talking about this subject. I love talking about, jiu-jitsu and martial arts for law enforcement. I think it's really important. So I think it's a really cool subject. So he'll be on with us in just a little bit. One of the things that I really wanted to talk about was this. I'm not going to use his last name, but this kid Isaiah that posted that it's kind of his experience tapping a purple belt. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I know you want to jump in and go.
Yeah, no, I saw like as soon as he posted it on the BJJ Fanatics group, I saw it, and the first thing that go in my mind is look at this dumbass white belt, right?
Okay,
but. The only thing I wanted to say to him was like, look, bro, like I understand that you're new to jiu-jitsu and you don't really understand the etiquette, but you don't roll and tell.
Yeah.
Right? But I saw that
First rule of Fight Club.
Yeah. And then I seen people lighting him up in the comments. So I thought that's where it stopped, right? I completely forget about it. And then I see meme after meme after meme.
Micro adjustments.
Sneaky back take, like.
Yeah.
And now it's just gotten to the point where like they just beat the dead horse on that. Like, good. He's a dumbass. He's a white belt. But okay, so there's a couple things I liked that happened from this situation, right? First of all, his coach came out in support of him.
I saw the video. I saw it yesterday.
And so did Tom the Blast, I believe it was.
He mentioned him as well. He commented, yeah.
But most importantly was the coach, because I'm not going to mention the name, but I've seen a particular coach that anytime something happened with his students, he would make a social media comment not in support of his students.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I as a coach, I would never. I would have came out like
New York
Isaiah's
City?
coach.
New York?
No, he's not.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I don't believe in doing that, right? It's just like a Marine Corps thing, right? I'm a sergeant. If one of my dumbass privates or PFCs does something stupid, I'm gonna go to bat for him first, and then I'm gonna be like, "You're a dumbass. Like, you need to fix yourself."
Well, and both of those situations, I think, is like I grew up. Nothing crazy went on in my house, but my parents used to say, "What happens in this house stays in this house."
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know how much money we make. Nobody needs to know that when we're buying something, a car, or putting in a pool, whatever. They don't need to know.
Yeah.
What happens in this house stays in this house. Jokingly goes back to, what happens in Fight Club stays in Fight Club,
Yeah.
right? I didn't see it originally. I didn't see it right away.
You seen the memes?
I saw the memes, and I belong to this group, and they've done a real BJJ Judo Memes. BJJ and Judo Memes is the name of the Facebook group. They've grown really fast in a short amount of time over the last year. They've done a great job, and what I saw was they had to shut down, I guess not shut down the group, but they put it on pause. They were literally able to put it on pause. You could still see, if you remember, you could see what was in there, but they weren't. They had to keep on saying stop with the micro adjustment memes, and stop with the memes. I don't know that they were. If it was, I really don't 100% understand if it was more about they just wanted to stop seeing the same memes over and over, or if they were kind of like, all right, let's back off this kid a little bit. But when the coach came out, and I saw the video that he had, I was like, all right. I didn't really have a feeling about it either way. I was like, well, that was stupid to come out and say, but I wasn't going to attack the kid. The coach came out in support. Tom DeBlas and a few other people came out and in support. And then the kid launched a T-shirt site.
I love that. I
fucking love
that.
it. I told them, I commented,
I think I saw that.
make turn lemons into lemonade, brother. Good for you.
Good for him.
Because, okay, look, the kid made a mistake. They're just memes. I didn't see nasty comments. I didn't go that far into it.
Yeah.
But I saw the memes, and then all the memes made sense once. I was like, what the hell is going on with this? It came up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Saw his name, found his page. He's handling it like a champ. According to his coach, he's a pretty talented kid, and he's picked up jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I see a picture of him. He's got some boxing gloves in in his training bag. All right. I don't know how much training he's done in other disciplines, but it was good to see that he's turning something that could have been very negative and could have been kind of like a bullying kind of thing.
He could have stopped training jiu-jitsu.
He could have just said,
and that's one part of it that I wanted to highlight is that as upper belts, right, as veterans in this sport or in this art, right, we're martial artists, right? The people that continue to make these memes, you're a bunch of fucking assholes because it's like, okay, we understand that the white belt messed up. This is an opportunity for coaching, right? You make a couple memes, okay, laugh it off.
He bust his balls
Bust
a
his
little bit.
balls, yes. Busting balls is okay. But I just think that they took...
At some point,
it's
it just
now
becomes...
it's just too fucking far.
Well, it gets dragged
And
out. Yeah.
This morning, right, I kind of got pissed off at one of the memes because I think Jeff Glover posted it, right? And I think this is a dick move, right? It was a picture of Isaiah's wedding.
because it's like his profile picture.
Yeah, it was
So it's
his
easy to
wedding,
get.
and
Okay.
it was like micro adjustments, and it said some bullshit like
personal.
that, right?
It's
But it's like
too far.
yeah, too far. You don't bring no women, no kids.
No
You know what I mean?
personal.
Yeah. No,
you don't get that
no,
fucking
no
personal
family,
with it,
no family.
right? And it's like, look, you're not just a black belt on the mat, right? You have to carry yourself as a black belt, and to me, that's unbecoming of a black belt. If you're gonna fucking drag some white belt through the mud like that, that's
Yeah.
fucking unacceptable. Right, and even Isaiah said it. He was like, I get the memes, like, I'm cool, but he's like, my wedding picture, for real?
Oh, did he comment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with somebody with that much influence. Like, I don't... Look,
Yeah.
I'm a new black belt, but I'm still a fucking black belt, and that's unacceptable. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get personal with shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the video. I quickly went from seeing the memes, like, all right, what is the micro adjustment side? I got the fact about I understood early that a purple belt had posted this. I didn't get the micro adjustments. I had to look a little bit further into it, and he kind of talked about it. My personal advice to him is, don't do that again.
Don't do it.
Don't do that again. Remember that I am sure, and I understand that it wasn't at his home gym. That purple belt's not from his home gym. That he does some open mats. He goes to some other gyms. I believe that purple belt kind of commented as well, and
He
maybe
said
gave him
good.
some props. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
gave him
he's
some props.
he's good.
I don't know who it was, but Isaiah's coach said.
I am sure, and I do this every single day myself, and I know that you do, and you have to as a coach, and you have to as an upper belt if you want to get any better. Is I give up position all the time,
So
and
you
then
fight out of
somebody,
them.
right. I put myself in a bad position, and I want to figure it out. You know, depending on where I am in my training session, maybe I'm a little tired. All right, I'm going to pull guard and I'm going to work on my defense. I've got a little more energy in the beginning. I'm going to go for some more takedowns. I'm going to push a little bit harder. What he's got to understand where he went wrong is everybody's looking at that. This is my interpretation of a lot of why people jumped on him initially. Is okay, white belt. Do you think that purple belt really went as hard on you? He could have probably submitted you in less than 30 seconds. He gave you position. He's helping you. And then you kind of, and I don't want to use the word brag, but then you went out and kind of told everybody that you beat this purple belt. Did you ever think that, and this is something that has to be taught sometimes. We give up, as higher belts, we give up position to guys that are below us. I'm sure, again, you do it to purple belts and brown sometimes. We're giving you position to so you can learn. And the less of a dick that you are, the more that we're going to give you. You know, I've never had it happen to me where somebody jumps up and is like, yeah, got you. Like, it just hasn't happened.
But I mean, like, as
I
a
do
higher
know
belt-
somebody that goes like this, check, when he beats somebody, no matter who it is, when he like submits him for the first time, like, got that guy off my list. You know who you are, Alex. So
my
that
boy Sal has me on his list. He has like a whole
that
list.
That happens. I just
He's
don't
not
think
gonna
that
get
he
me, though.
understood. And sometimes this is something that etiquette. This is part of etiquette of jiu-jitsu, like trimming your fingernails. Also, if you're not told not to talk about it, you may not realize it. It's not just a given, like, maybe I shouldn't talk about this. Did he really think the whole freaking world, the whole jiu-jitsu world was going to pick up on that? And it turned into, now there's T-shirt websites. He launched his own thing. I don't hold it against him, but I just think that nobody taught him the right way to do it.
These keyboard warriors, they really fucking irk me. Because the same thing with the Connor thing, right? People making memes about that, and they're just constantly just making these memes about Connor. And it's just like, hold on. First of all, can you fight?
Yeah.
Right, because a lot of you keyboard warriors, you can't fucking fight. And even if you can, like, let's say you do a little bit of jiu-jitsu, half of them wouldn't even have the balls to go in a fucking local tournament, let alone an MMA fight.
Yeah.
So it's like, I understand the internet culture, right? Where it's just like, you see a meme, you want to be funny. Like,
You
I
want
had
to
some
get fights. It's
troll.
about getting followers. It's about getting people, you know.
I had some troll in my inbox saying, like, we're just trying to have a little fun, bro. It's like, well, you're probably one of the ones that can't fight. It's like, yeah, it's funny, but then it's like, come on, bro. Like, you got to have some sort
The
of
ones that
respect.
never got slapped before.
Yeah, those are those motherfuckers that haven't been punched in the face.
I was legitimately thinking about it, and it wasn't for this episode, but to just do a segment, just have him on. Ask him, hey, you want to come on and talk about it?
Yeah,
You know,
please.
to have him come on and talk about it. And, you know, look, I'm not looking to crucify the kid by any means. I mean, I've always known from very early on, you know, I might come home and tell my wife, I got this guy today, man, you know, but I'm not putting it on the internet. So,
No.
So I'm thinking about maybe reaching out to him and say, hey, listen, you want to?
Well, there's a
I'll
burden
give you an
on him.
opportunity.
He's a white belt. Good initiative, bad judgment.
Yeah, it was,
I'll give you an opportunity to talk about your T-shirts and
Yeah.
you know and make your case.
listen,
And we're not
fight
not
'em
going
on.
to crucify you on the show. You know, we're not
Hell
going to
no.
crucify.
It's one of the
maybe
growth
we'll invite him on.
that was an opportunity for coaching, and everybody who went in on Isaiah, you
So
fucked it up.
I know that I saw the coach's video. I didn't go back and look. He said this was Friday afternoon or Friday morning. He posted something. He said he was going to actually do something with Isaiah. He was going to do like a live with Isaiah later in that day. I didn't go back and look at it. It might be out there. When this comes out, this will come out next week. We're filming on a Saturday. This will come out, you know, kind of between maybe Tuesday and Thursday of next week. All right, so let's jump forward. We don't want to keep Jason waiting too long. So welcome once again to our newest sponsor, Technique. Technique.io. It's at TEKNEEK.io on Instagram. Yes, you're putting in the .io. And if you're looking for the website, you know, if you www.tekneek.io. Let me do that again. www.tekneek.io. All right. Think cameo for martial artists, right? We're going to do one at the end of the show. We've got a competition video from our friend Miguel, one of our frequent co-hosts on the show. So you can go to Technique. You can upload your training or competition video and get professional feedback on your technique. Pros include Robert Drysdale, UFC veteran Elliot Marshall. We're on there as well. Jiu-Jitsu Dummies is on there as a group. So, for us, expect a funny take on the videos. Some of these pros, like they're legit doing like some kind of breakdowns of the video. Stay tuned. We'll show you the tool. We're actually going to do Miguel's video live on air. Okay. Huge shout out to Flow and Roll. Well, can you seeing my shirt? My Flow and Roll?
It's there.
All right. Can I stand up? Can you get the back? Hold on.
Can you turn? Yeah.
Flow and
Can you
roll.
see the back?
Oh, yeah,
What
okay.
does it say? Jiu-jitsu on the brain?
On the brain.
All day.
This
All
is
day.
my favorite T-shirt ever.
Because it explains your life.
Explains my yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's me. That's all I think about. The show.
Do you want to know me? Look at the.
It's interesting how
You
we
want to
all
know
do
me?
that.
Look at my shirt.
Yeah. Oh, and wait, I forgot. I got the Flow and Roll hat on too. I got my ranked cap on. So
That's
check
cool.
them out. Huge shout out. Thank you, Sean. I went to the last Fight to Win. Was it, I think, 161, 162? The last one that did in
that's a
Miami.
ranked
The All Girls
hat.
event.
With the all girls?
The All Girls event.
So that's
I
a
went
ranked
there. He
hat.
was set
Yeah.
up. He
nice.
was there. Hooked me up with some gear. So I got a whole bunch of new shirts.
those ladies
and a couple
went at
hats.
it.
I got a couple things that you might want to take. I got a hat. And I got a Jiu-Jitsu Dummies jacket for you, I think. All right. So at flow_n_roll on Instagram. You can get 20% off your online order with code JJD at flowandroll.com. You've got to check out the website. He right now they're doing a whole bunch of, I like the retro, like this is like hand-drawn retro style.
Yeah.
Love their stuff. They've got some really cool like Day of the Dead kind of stuff, like Hispanic Day of the Dead looking, Dia de los Muertes, like those kind of style. I love it. Lots of stuff on the website. So again, go check them out. Flowandroll.com. And again, get 20% off with code JJD. Patreon, shout out to our Patreon podcast patrons, including our newest gym sponsors. We got Carlson Gracie, Broward County in North Lauderdale, Florida.
Cool.
Carlson Gracie, BrowardCounty.com. Go check them out and tell Big J we said hello.
Yeah,
John Way Martial.
Anzazino.
There you go. Friend of yours, right?
Yep. Homies.
John Way Martial Arts in Plantation, Florida. That's johnwaymartialarts.com. They feature Wing Chun, Kung Fu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai,
He was
Choi
a cool
Foot Kung
interview,
Fu,
man. Yeah.
San Chow. Yeah, we had him on the episode 34. Great interview.
Cool dude.
Actually, it's picking up steam, and it's been one of our most watched podcast episodes in recent history.
Cool dude.
They also do MMA conditioning, knife fighting, cardio kickboxing, and they have classes for kids, teens, and adults. Other podcast patrons include, thank you guys for your support, Robert Walker, Frank House, Woolsey Rivera, Boa Athletics. Check them out at BOA_athletics on IG. Thank you to Michael Pixley Jr., Jason Smiley, Britt Tavar, James Fisher, CJ Carroll, Mission 22, Chuck Reddoor, and Roberto Santiago. So if you'd like to support the show and get a shout out like that on an episode, visit us at Patreon, patreon.com/Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. Join and you automatically entered into this isn't for the gym sponsors, but for the individual sponsors. Join and be automatically entered into a $100 raffle every single month. We send it. The raffle pool are people who submitted questions and our podcast patrons. So you can get entered into this $100 raffle every single month. Last month, High Road BJJ, who's a friend of the show, they awarded $100 worth of gear. This month, this January, which we're about to award, is going to be a three pack of Fight Back CBD. So got Jason to put up last month. That's $100 worth of CBD. So you can submit a question to the show. If we use it on the show, you're automatically entered into those drawings. If you're a podcast patron, you're supporting the show. You're basically pledging as little as $5 a month, and you're automatically entered in. Okay. Last but not least, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share wherever you're watching or listening. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to click the little bell. Ding. And you get notifications every time we launch
Who
new
owes
videos.
who a beer?
All right.
Somebody owes someone a beer.
So I had to go through that fast because I don't want to keep Jason waiting. All right, let's get Jason in here.
Let's get him.
Ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. So joining us today is Jason from Jiu Jitsu FiveO. He's a police officer and Jiu Jitsu brown belt. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. We appreciate you being here.
Yes, we do.
I always apologize because we're running a little late, so I might as well just throw that in now. So we'll just get that out of the way.
It's part of the intro now, bro.
So yes, it's a permanent part of the intro, like a sponsor. So I've been following your videos for a long time. I should probably say, I always like to preface it. Look, my dad was a cop in New York City. He was a New York City transit police officer before the departments merged and it all became NYPD. So always, wanted to be a cop when I was a kid. I wanted to be like my dad. So always got a special place in my heart. And for this conversation that, especially once I found jiu-jitsu in my 40s, and with what's going on in the world, I love having these conversations. So again, thank you for being here. Definitely want to get kind of, the police officer side of not only what's been going on in this country recently without getting political, but, and how jiu-jitsu can help. So, let's go back though and start with how you got your start in martial arts.
Yeah, so for me, I was always athletic. Like I played sports in high school. I was a football player and baseball player. And then after high school, I went off to college. I'm kind of on the smaller side, so football was out for me.
Okay.
And from a college standpoint. But really, like as you guys know, after you graduate college, when you become an adult, there's not a whole lot to do for like team sports, and so I became a cop, and I could talk to you guys about that, how that whole thing happened. But, once I became a cop, I kind of had to have an honest conversation with myself and realize like, I didn't know how to fight. And I was kind of big into like lifting weights and stuff at the time, but deep down I knew no matter how strong I got, I can only get so big and strong. And there's always going to be somebody out there that is bigger and stronger than me. Right. So
yeah.
I knew I needed to learn how to grapple for my job. And so at the time where I was living, I just Googled jiu-jitsu gyms near me. And I happened to find an Alliance gym that was really close. I stopped in and talked to the owner, and there was like a ton of cops training there.
So let me jump in and stop you. Let me interrupt you for a second. Did you know to go straight to jiu-jitsu? Was it suggested to you? Oh, were you just, did you understand the kind of the ground style of jiu-jitsu and that was just the right thing?
Yep. Yeah, that's a great question. So I knew just from, I was only a cop for about a year at the time when I started, but I knew just from that year of experience that I needed something that was going to allow me or teach me how to control other people. Right. And I knew that grappling was really where it was at and we can talk more about traditional police defensive tactics for sure.
Oh,
but
we're going to.
There
all
wasn't
2 hours of it that you guys trained.
I knew there was a lot of like Hollywood style stuff out there. But I knew jiu-jitsu was really the one martial art that was more realistic to our job. Mm-hmm. And so that's ultimately what I was seeking out. And then, when I found my gym, it was, it just happened to be like a super cop friendly gym. And there was a ton of other cops from other agencies already training there. The owner of the gym was like I still train under him, Damien, super pro police, always supported us and everything. And I kind of fit right in the culture and everything. And I've been training there ever since. So this is my almost 11th year now that I've been training with him.
Okay.
Nice.
So now how was Jiu-Jitsu FiveO born? When did that come as far as, your journey, maybe as it relates to your belt journey? What color were you when this started or how many years were you in?
So the business itself is only about a year and a half old. I established the LLC and really started going with it about a year and a half ago. But prior to that, when I was like a blue or purple belt, I can't remember, I started like a weekly grappling club at my police department.
Okay.
And I called it Jiu-Jitsu FiveO. And I just invited guys to come once a week.
Great freaking name, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, how perfect. I can't believe that wasn't taken.
Yeah, and what's funny about that, when I thought about it, I actually thought it was a stupid name.
Oh, no, it's fucking perfect, man. It's like,
Yeah, I talked to my wife about it, and she's in branding and marketing, and she's like, no, the name is perfect. You got to stick with that. Yeah. So, I called this grappling club Jiu-Jitsu FiveO, and that's kind of how the name started. And then I knew I wanted to do something more with it. I'm a combative tactics instructor for my agency, so I teach our in-service training and everything. And I really like teaching. I love coaching. It's always been something I've been really passionate about. And it just sort of started to grow from there. And then I've been learning a lot along the way too as to what Jiu-Jitsu FiveO is and what I want it to be. But now I think I've dialed it in, and I know where I want to go with it, and I'm on my way there. So It's been great.
All right, so let me ask you, from before you started training and to now, how has your mindset changed as far as how you work, in dealing with high stress situations?
That's a great question too. I've learned so much through jiu-jitsu over the years. You know, it wasn't something that happened right away, but as you guys probably know, the more you go and grind it out on the mats and train, it just has like all of these positive impacts on daily life. So not only at work, but I found just in general, I problem solve a little bit better than maybe I did before. I'm a lot more confident in my own abilities if it comes to going hands-on with somebody. I feel like I'm probably a lot more calm in certain situations, and maybe before I trained, I would have like been a lot more quick to snap or judge or, you know, whatever. So, and it's been a really great outlet just to stay in shape. You know, like I talked about how when we were in high school, we played all these sports and it was fun and that kept us in shape. But when you become an adult, it's like your options seem like it's like running or lifting weights
and sleeping.
And I love the fact that you touched on staying calm and being able to problem solve. Because if you think about it, when we're on the mats, we're constantly solving problems. Like, okay, his arm is here, his body weight's here. You're fighting off pressure, but not only do you need to get it off, you also need to have an answer to it, right?
Am I going a couple of steps down the road sometimes?
Yeah, let me get an underhook. Let me leg pummel in there. All right, what am I trying to attack? Like, it's constantly problem solving. So I mean, I was in the military, so, you know, I was in the Marine Corps for 5 years, but I don't know, like, what it would be like to deal with, like, civilians on a daily basis, right? Having to use that style of control. So just to hear that, you know, that's it's good. You know, I wish that, you know, like more police officers will hear that and be, you know, motivated.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that because that's a huge part of this conversation is your thoughts on, you know, police departments in general. I did want to comment though. You said something that I try to tell people, especially I get like a lot of moms at work or something that they're going to get little Johnny into jiu-jitsu. What you just described about feeling more confident, I call that's the quiet confidence that you feel. I know, you know, I was a knucklehead even in my 30s, you know, go out to the club, you know, hey, get a little tough. We knew all my friends, my roommates were bartenders at these clubs in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, you know, so, hey, you know, I thought I knew I know everybody here. Getting into little scraps here, getting into stupid shit. Anyway, once I started to learn jiu-jitsu, once I started to train with Kinney and, you know, really start to learn how to, you know, do boxing and Muay Thai, that completely stopped. You know, I think I acted like that because you're trying to act tough. You want everybody to see that you're tough. But once you know that you're tough and you know this stuff, I mean, it just goes away. So, you know, that I call it the quiet confidence of being in a room, knowing that you can handle yourself with just about anybody of any size in that room. So again, you know, when people ask me, oh, you know, what should I, oh, right, they do the hi-ya. Oh, I heard you do jiu-jitsu. Hi-ya, you know, like, no, it's jiu-jitsu. Let me explain this to you, and I'm going to tell you why you should bring little Johnny here. Although I love all martial arts, this is why I believe that this should be the thing. But that quiet confidence is what you just described there. It's like you could just, you're not feeling defensive. You're not worried about anybody else in the room because you just know that you can handle yourself, and that's a great thing for adults and kids. You know,
for sure. You ever heard Joe Rogan and Firas Zahabi talking about it?
No, that specifically.
Yeah, because Firas asked Joe if he's like, imagine if you've never lifted a weight, never trained a martial art a day in your life, how would you feel walking into a room? And he's like, insecure. And he's like, well, how do you feel now? And he talked about that confidence. Now, I like the quiet. What is it? Silent confidence or quiet?
It's the quiet confidence.
Yeah, I like
because
that
I was that guy that walked into a room and, you know, I talk for a living. I'm a loud guy. I love to joke around. Now, put that together with somebody that's trying to walk in and make sure that everybody knows that they're tough. When you're really insecure about being tough, you're not tough. Yeah. You know, that just went away once I started. I mean, you know, it's that humility, that ego that we leave at the door. You really start leaving it at home, you know, once, you know, in your daily life. I mean, that's how I feel. I'm going on 7 years in. So, you know, I try to preach that when people ask me, you know, what martial arts should they do, or should they take little Johnny? But let's get back, Jason. So you started to talk a little bit about the importance of jiu-jitsu. Before we get too far for police officers, before we get too far into that, have you seen what the Gracies have been doing? Did you see that? You know what Henner put out, that video that he put out? It was a pretty long video of how he wants to explain it to police chiefs around the country. Number one, what do you think about that? And you did say you're training defensive tactics. So what does your department think about that? I mean, have they fully adopted that, or is it still kind of new to them?
And do they have a budget for it?
That's a big part of it, which is what I'm understanding.
Yeah, budgets are a big thing right now because we've all been talking about the defund the police movement like that, which we can talk about that too. But so from my department standpoint, we definitely have moved more toward like a jiu-jitsu based, ground fighting based system. And like any agency, there is a limited amount of time that we're able to all get together and train for in-service training. But I think my agency probably does a better job than a lot of them around the country, because there's a lot of agencies out there that train 1 day a year, and they jam all of their defensive tactics, all the check the box training into an 8-hour day.
That's such a shame.
Well, you forget more than you learn.
Oh God, it's incredible. And I've heard it put best, like a high school wrestler gets more training in 1 week than a police officer gets all year, you know? And there's a lot of truth to that.
There is no muscle memory in that 1 hour that you're going to maintain.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well, honestly, just not even train and waste the time, because that's what it is. It's a waste of time if you're only doing it 1 day a year. So we train ground fighting usually about 6 times a year, which is still not enough. But like I said, I try to do like the grappling club and get guys into it. I'm promoting jiu-jitsu all the time, obviously. But cops do need to take it upon themselves to train outside of work. And if they don't like that, too bad. You know, it's like this is a profession that you chose. You owe it to yourself and the people that you're working for and your partners to keep everybody safe. And if the department's not going to give you the amount of training that you need, you can bitch and complain about that as much as you want, but that's not solving your problem. So you do have to go and do it, especially if you're an instructor. You know, I know there's a lot of instructors out there too that will go through like a 40-hour certification course, and then that's the extent of their training. What? So maybe they know how to teach a couple of techniques. Yeah. But I'm a big proponent. If you're going to teach people how to do jiu-jitsu or anything, you need to kind of practice what you preach and live that lifestyle. Yeah.
So you said you train defensive tactics. Are you the guy training the other people those 6 days a year? Is that you? Are you part of a team? Tell us how that works.
Yeah, it is. At my agency, it is a team. There's about 10 total instructors. So we're responsible for teaching kind of a lot of different things, not only ground fighting and handcuffing and everything, but also like taser. So I'm a taser instructor. Stupid batons. We have to host and train with those. I could go on and on about how ridiculous those things are, but so there's a lot of things that we have to cover. Our team is responsible for teaching that. I'm a firearms instructor, so I also teach firearms.
So you're still out there on the streets in between those things, or are you just training others? Are you running those training classes?
Right now I'm in our training unit full time. This is my 4th year there. I worked patrol for 8 years. This is a 4-year assignment, so I'm in my last year in our training unit, and then they're probably going to kick me out back to the street.
Oh wow! It's just part of the process to rotate other people in.
Yep, it's a good way to get people, give them a break from patrol, just because there are a lot of stresses and stuff that come with that job. And it's a flex schedule, so it's kind of nice to be able to not have to work nights, weekends, holidays, missing kids' birthday parties, and all that kind of stuff. So it's been really. And I think it's been a natural fit for me. Like I said, I really enjoy training. I like to teach. And so it's been a good spot for me. But yeah, it's so we kind of teach. We used to teach a lot of like the ridiculous defensive tactics stuff before I came on board and kind of introduced jiu-jitsu, because I was a blue belt at the time when I got selected as one of our instructors. Now I'm one of our lead instructors, and I'm the only one out of our group that trains on his own time, at least in ground fighting and that. So I'm trying to get more people involved. Now, obviously they learn from me. Like I teach my guys and gals a lot of that stuff, so they can then go on and teach it to our department for in-service training. But it's a constant struggle getting cops to train. And
I was going to say, have you had, so you're saying you don't have any of your coworkers that train with you or in jiu-jitsu at all outside of those 6 days a year?
So yeah, pre-COVID, we had some people that would come to my weekly grappling class that wanted to learn, and that was a lot of fun. But then COVID kind of shut that thing down. Okay. And I haven't really been able to get it going yet. Hopefully soon. Yeah. But yeah, I think out of our department, which is like 106 total sworn staff, I think I'm the only one that trains jiu-jitsu, which is ridiculous.
Wow. So that's a shame.
It is. So just from your opinion, right? Because I'm sure you don't have like a solid answer. I don't know if anybody has an answer, but why do you think it's like that? Like why? Like okay, from my military experience, right? Training is continuous. We're training, and then every once in a while we get a deployment. We go out there and we actually have to do our job, and then we come back and it's training. Why is it the reverse with police? You know, why is there not an emphasis on like training is continuous and not?
I kind of feel like it's the money, right? We said budget before, because if there was a budget there for it to take you guys off the street for an extended amount of time, or even 1 day a week, 2 days a week, you know, if they're here, who's out there? You know, that means you got to hire more trainers like Jason. You've got I'm guessing here. You're on the inside looking out. I'm on the outside looking in. So, but I'm thinking it's a money thing.
I got it right, yeah. But okay, so it's a money thing.
Well, is it Jason? Is it a budget thing?
That definitely plays into it. I think money, it definitely plays into it. I think it's used more as an excuse than it is an actual preventative thing from getting them to train on their own. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things going on. Time is a big one, right? Because we work 12-hour shifts typically. And so you are freaking exhausted at the end of your work week. And the days that you work, it's a 12-hour shift, but you get there usually half hour early. Oftentimes you got to stay late. So your day is pretty much shot. Like,
is it like a 4 on 3 off kind of thing? Usually when it's 12 hours, 4 on 3 off.
Yeah, we do a 4 on 4 off.
Oh, okay.
When I was working patrol, if I knew I couldn't make it on my days that I work, so I would just make sure to train on all my off days. Mm-hmm. So time is a big one. Money's a big one. Ego, obviously, probably similar to military. Like a lot of cops, especially guys, are sort of like the alpha males, right? And we don't want to be shown that we're not as tough as we thought we were. Mm-hmm. And if I go on the mats, subconsciously, I probably know like those guys are going to kick my ass, and I'm not going to be able to accept that, right? I'm not going to be able to go home and
ego.
Live with that.
What we just said before, ego. Yeah. I thought
Ego's
I was tough until I started to learn how to fight and go, wow, I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah. I have another philosophy on it that isn't talked about as much as those other 3 factors. And that is,
let's hear this.
Defensive tactics training has notoriously been complete horseshit for like since the dawn of policing. Yeah. Right? Defensive tactics.
We're so happy to hear that. We're so happy to hear that it's that bad.
It sucks. Cops know it sucks. They're forced to go to it, right? And I think because, like you mentioned, how your family thinks jiu-jitsu is like karate, right? And they start making the karate hands. A lot of cops that don't fully understand what jiu-jitsu is, they look at it as more defensive tactics training. And because defensive tactics training has traditionally sucked in their mind, and I don't blame them, like, why would I go spend my own time, my free time, which I don't have much of, and my own money to learn more shitty defensive tactics for a job that, they're already providing me with that during our in-service training or whatever. So I think the understanding of what it is would help out a lot, and being more educated about what jiu-jitsu is. And not only like I think we have to stop focusing too on just like the self-defense aspect of it and start focusing on all of those other benefits that we talked about earlier, right? Mm-hmm. Like the self-confidence, the physical fitness, the mental well-being, the fact that you get to hang out with people that aren't cops. That's a huge thing too.
Yeah, that's community.
Yeah. Cause there's nothing worse than being a cop and like getting off of work and being done with work and hanging out with other cops that all you talk about is what happened at work and the foot chase that you got in. And,
like we do in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. War stories.
Yeah, because jiu-jitsu, like that therapeutic aspect of it, like, when everybody's tired and you're just leaning against the mats and you're just like, just getting it all out, right? That's your therapy session. Yeah, that's another thing, right? Because it's like we go to war and we come back. And there's very little emphasis on like our mental health. I think it's getting better now, but it's a very little emphasis on it. And essentially, you guys are like what we experience in war in the urban environment. It's very similar to what you experience on the street.
Doing it every day.
Yeah,
for on 20 years in some cases, right? Yeah, until you retire.
So it's like jiu-jitsu, that mental health aspect is important too, where you could just get it out.
Yeah. It's huge. Well, and like you mentioned, sitting along the wall after you're just like completely drained and you've done like an hour and a half of hard training, that's honestly become one of my favorite parts of jiu-jitsu, is like training hard and sitting on the wall and just bullshitting with everybody after. It's great. You know?
That's, when I met Drew, I'm sorry to interrupt. When I met Drew, our coach, you guys were part of an organization. I don't remember the name of the organization. You guys were both part of that kind of PTSD organization that mother had started. What's the name of it? Lift to Tell. So I know that a lot of those guys, my coach would have those guys come in from the group, and he would give them a gi, train for free. I think everything was free for them. And sometimes we'd be stretching and getting ready for a class, and we'd wind up being in a circle. And now I was never in the military, but here I am hearing these stories. We'd wind up being in a circle 2 hours. We didn't train any jiu-jitsu. Those are some of my best memories. And I mean, we did that we probably didn't just not train that day, but you were there. I told you on the first time you came on the podcast, that story you told me about how your friend was in another vehicle and you were like, you were going to hold a shot, you were going to shoot somebody, and you saw his face. That stayed with me for the longest time. We talked about it on the first time you're on the podcast. So some of those conversations, for me, who's not in the military, I was never a police officer, was never in the military, that was therapeutic for me, and it helped me understand you guys, and it led to kind of us doing a lot of stuff with the military and the foundation and We Defy and all that stuff. But I mean, the thing is, for the people outside of jiu-jitsu, like Jason, your higher ups, your sergeants, lieutenants, and captains, and so on. There's no. It's so difficult to explain that to them, and they have to get on the mat to understand that. But you kind of until they're just it's that UFC thing that they do on the ground, right? It's so hard for somebody to truly
karate.
Yeah, I mean, I even I would train 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, open mats on Saturdays, and my wife was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "You don't understand how much I love this and how therapeutic it is." She never really understood until she started doing kickboxing, and now she understands that being that addiction, and that she's like, she walks around here now. She's like, I've got to punch something. And she's like, "Will you hold the mitts for me?" Or she's like, she hurt her foot, so she's been like desperate to go. But now she understands that. But she had to understand that by getting in and doing it. She never understood it from me explaining. You don't understand what this is for me. It's exercise. It's mental release. It's learning how to defend myself and my family. So I mean, that's always going to be a challenge. I think I love what the Gracies did, what Henry did in that video. I just don't know if that's. How much of an uphill battle is that going to be? I mean, you're training, defensive tactics in your own department. Do you see a window of opportunity for them to continue to expand that? Or is it like beating your head up against a brick wall?
Yeah, a lot of times I feel like it's this impossible challenge that like we can talk to death, but until we actually get guys to come and try a class, it does seem like it can be impossible. Like I said, I really like the fact though that those guys are huge advocates for us because they're not cops, obviously, but they've always been very pro police, and they've always been probably one of the most proactive groups in promoting jiu-jitsu for law enforcement. So I've really appreciated the fact that they're taking it. I know sometimes they get shit from cops like, "Oh, that would never work," and cops like to bitch about.
Let me show you.
we are absolutely the worst when it comes to like change and trying new things. Like we just like to complain about everything, and everything is bullshit. And that's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the only people that like change are wet babies. You know what I mean? That's it.
The best way I've heard it is cops hate two things: change and the way things are. And it's so true. It's so true.
I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
On the mats, if we could just get guys to like come in and try a class, because like the weekly grappling thing that I was doing within my own agency, the guys that came and tried it for the first time, every one of them wanted to come back and do it again. They're like, "This was awesome. We need to do this more often. We should have everybody doing this." And then I got buy-in, but it's just a matter of actually like getting them there. And offering free training is great, but again, if they don't know what it is and understand it, they're not really going to care. And so I've seen some of those incentives out there, and I really like the fact that people are trying to do it. But those things in and of themselves are probably not going to get people into the gym. So it's a constant battle. One thing I'm trying to do right now, like I have an app that's going to be coming out here this month. I'm trying to take the training to the departments because I understand that there are time constraints, monetary constraints, and those are big things. So what I've tried to do is find a way like, okay, how can I teach jiu-jitsu to the masses for people that maybe don't have access to a gym, don't have the money to be able to afford the gym, but they have a partner at work and they want to train something after work or on their lunch break or whatever. They'll be able to pull up my app, find whatever techniques they want, nutrition plans, solo drills. If they don't have a partner, want to work on stuff at home, I'm going to kind of have all of that stuff in the app that will be available to them at the push of a button. So
let's tell everybody, which we didn't do. If you go check out on Instagram now, I found your YouTube this week while I was doing a little research. The YouTube looks like maybe you haven't been uploading there recently, or are you active there still? I could just see the difference in the kind of where you have your mats and the background. So I looked at it and then I saw the I've been watching your Instagram for a while. First of all, let's just say on Instagram at jiujitsu5, spell out 5_O. That's where you can find Jason. I don't know if you guys have taken a look at it, but I think that the videos that he's putting there are amazing. These are things that I want to learn. I'm in a school where we kind of teach a little bit more of tournament style jiu-jitsu, so I love picking up those tips from, places like your Instagram and, just do a YouTube search, but go ahead and tell us, are you doing anything with the YouTube? And then we can get back into kind of the app side. Tell us a little bit more about the app as well.
Yeah. So I haven't really been updating my YouTube channel because a lot of my video content, I'm kind of moving toward my app.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. All right, good.
So I'll probably leave the YouTube channel up because I think there's videos there that guys find value in. And I want to be able to have them have access to it, but I probably won't update that much anymore. A lot of the videos, like you said, I started that channel when I first got going just as a place to kind of hold all my content. But now that I'm shooting a lot more video and techniques and doing things, and I've got my mat space, my studio's finished and everything. I'm going to probably move it all toward the app, and then, I'll still put out stuff on Instagram. So you'll be able to find technique videos and stuff.
It's a great way to get people to the app too, is, give them a little piece, give them a little nugget, and then they follow you.
Show them what I'm all about. And if you want to learn more, and if you like the style of my teaching and you like the things that I'm teaching, because to your point, you're not going to probably see me showing like how to berimbolo somebody, I like playing around with that stuff on the mats personally when I train. I don't do it a lot, but I'm very much more like self-defense focus and what's realistic for policing. So I talk about Kimuras a lot. I talk about takedowns a lot, just being able to control people in side control, knee on belly, mount, how to escape a headlock. There's a lot of those simple things that maybe you don't learn at your gym, but that definitely apply to the street when you're grappling with some uncooperative person, right?
So you just mentioned knee on belly, and I've been itching to ask this question. Again, doing my research this week, I saw the NYPD training video that you posted on your YouTube.
Sorry that you had to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty disturbing from somebody that knows jiu-jitsu. Listen, I'm just a purple belt, but I think I've been doing this long enough, and I can say that was probably one of the most ridiculous videos that I've ever seen. I didn't share it with you guys, so Drew might not know what I'm talking about, but it was the prohibited actions, like no knee on back, no knee on belly, knee on chest.
Knee on back's not a position, but knee on the belly?
I think they said, I think it was, let me correct myself, and Jason, you probably know the video better than me. They really kind of indicated no knee on chest or knee on like the upper back, right? I'm not sure that they actually said no knee on belly, but they basically said, we're going to take away all of the advantages that you could possibly have in this situation. And it's like, literally, like it felt like, don't put any weight on the suspect, the perp. You can only handle them in this very specific way. I know that you've also mentioned, I think I saw in one of your videos, you guys aren't allowed to do chokes anymore, right? You specifically, your department. Again, let's start with the NYPD video. The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I think I could see that you already agree with me.
Oh, 100%. And I talked to some other people about this video on some other podcasts, and I felt really bad for the two guys because I think one of the guys in the video, not the guy that's doing all the talking, but the guy who's kind of playing the suspect, I believe he's also jiu-jitsu purple belt. Yeah, and you can tell like by his if you look at his cauliflower ears that he probably has been training for a while, and you could just tell by the look on his face like he's like, God damn it, why do I have to do this video?
Yeah,
I
got to go back and look at that. I didn't notice that.
It is ridiculous, and basically they don't call it neon belly, but the way that they show it in the video is like basically it's neon belly, and if you're caught doing it, it's like a misdemeanor crime for the officer.
Yeah.
And so
that was the most disturbing part of the video is that they're actually saying, you've committed a crime and you'll be arrested if you do this.
Yeah, you basically can't put any pressure on someone's upper torso like at all.
Neck or chest, right? Let's include the neck with chokes, right? I mean, no choking, nothing on the chest, on the front or back, right? You can't put it on anything on the upper back. No knee to control.
Even like you can't even go in mount. You can't
no pressure on them at all, right? No full mount.
And anybody in our profession who's tried to arrest someone who's not cooperating, is resisting, understands how difficult it is just in general, right? Now take away their ability to put any pressure on the person's upper body. Like it's insane. It's not possible. And these laws are being made without doing any research. They're being made by people who have never been in a fight.
Have no clue. They have no clue what's really needed.
Politics, and it's making us and our job less safe. It's making it less safe for the suspects that are involved because now, well, I had all of these great tools through jiu-jitsu to safely and effectively control you without hurting you. Now you've taken those away from me, but you still want me to make that arrest. So what are my options? And we're seeing it right now all over the internet. Beating people into submission, basically, like strikes, elbows, kicks, all of that stuff. And it's like, most of the time, all that shit's unnecessary. If you train jiu-jitsu and you know how to control somebody, it's that simple. But yeah, unfortunately, you have these all these politics that are starting to get involved, and it's really it's frustrating and it's challenging for us.
They need spears now.
Yeah,
spears.
That's Bo.
You just skewer them. That's I can't
voice
put
from
pressure
beyond,
on them, but I
can't see him.
I can pierce them though.
It's like why they made the north-south elbow illegal in UFC just because whoever saw them breaking bricks with their elbows, they're like they can't do that. It's like you don't know how to fight and you're trying to impose these rules. But there's one. Did you see the video? It was a recent, maybe within the last couple of months. It was a Gracie breakdown of it, but it was a cop in Walmart who,
Have you said cop who's like hitting him with the baton?
No.
It was. There's always a Walmart. There's a million Walmart cops videos.
It was this. I think it was a girl that was like breaking shit in the Walmart.
She took like a bat and she broke like the gaming
part, right? And the police officer came cabinet. And took her down, and she even said, "I'm gonna grab your gun. And he did an arm bar.
Yeah,
and like that to me was like one of the most perfect perfect videos of showing like how police can benefit from jiu-jitsu because he handled himself. He's talking very calm the whole time. He didn't freak out. He didn't use any of his non-lethal weapons. He didn't use anything. He just straight jiu-jitsu, and that was awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Control the situation, control the person, even though they were completely out of control. No strikes were involved, no batons, no tasers, no pepper spray. It was great. And that's a really good example. And you see some of those, and it's almost like you kind of pull your hair out because you want admin and these lawmakers to watch these videos and say, what looks worse? Not only what looks worse on camera, but like what's more effective? And I don't know what the answer is.
You can hog tie their legs. You can hog tie their ankles.
You're telling somebody, go build this house, but hey, leave the hammer behind. I'm going to keep this screwdriver, and you can't have any of these nails here. So, but go ahead. Good luck. You're really taking so much away from them. So what is? I guess you kind of answered this, but what's the consensus amongst other officers? Is it, hey, if I had more time, I would do it. I see the value and I would do it. Or I think you kind of mentioned this before. Some guys just can't be told anything. They just won't. Is it, 60-40? Is it 50-50? Do you feel like you have enough people on your side that eventually, like, I think as people come up through the ranks, that's when, kind of change starts to happen. It has to kind of start somewhere. And as you guys are on the department longer, you guys will be making these decisions one day, or at least have the ear of the people, that are making these decisions. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Again, is it 50-50?
Probably not 50-50, but I think you make a really good point about kind of people coming up through the ranks and how it has to start at a certain point. What I've noticed with like the younger generation of cops that are starting now, fitness is more of a lifestyle for them than it is for like some of the older guys that have been doing the job for a long time. And I think they're a lot more open-minded and willing to learn new things. So I think if you can start it at the academy level and kind of get them into it before they even start on the street or start as a cop, when they're still in training, introduce them to it, get them hooked on it. Like you said, your wife got hooked on kickboxing, right? I know this younger crowd will get addicted to jiu-jitsu, which is a good addiction, right?
Yeah.
And so you do it at the academy level. And then because you got cops that have been doing the job for 10, 15 years, a lot of those guys are never going to start doing it, right? They're just looking, I'm almost at retirement. That's what my mindset is on. I'm going to do as little as, hopefully I don't have to touch anybody, and I'm just going to coast through the rest of my career, right? But from the administrative perspective, you do have a lot of like that older generation of cops that have been in that role for a long time and is making all of the decisions. But then you might have guys like me. I've been on this is my 11th year, who, as those guys get phased out and the newer generation takes over these administrative roles and is making decisions, I think maybe you'll start to see a little bit more of a shift in how we train, what we teach, all that kind of stuff.
So those 6 days a week, those 6 days a year that you mentioned before, I don't know if those straight defensive tactics. Are there also physical fitness requirements as well? Because again, as a son of a police officer, I can't remember my father doing anything. He was in good shape. He took care of himself. But from a department perspective, I don't remember there being any physical fitness requirements. Once you get on the job and you get through the academy, I don't remember him ever going through anything. Are there any physical fitness requirements? Do you guys retest, or talk about that a little bit if you can?
Yeah, so we have a physical fitness requirement, a test that you have to take before you get hired on with us. You have to pass that. If you don't pass that, then you can't move on in the process. Our SWAT team has an annual test that they have to pass. So there's a physical fitness for our SWAT team, but just for general patrol and investigations, if you're not on the SWAT team, there's no annual requirement. So I think there should be. I'm a big proponent of that. I think we work in a job where we owe it to everybody, including ourselves, to stay physically fit, and fitness needs to be a lifestyle. And I preach that all the time to the newer cops that are coming in and say, hey, if you don't live this life, you're going to go down this path where you're eating fast food on patrol every day, and you're going to get lazy because you're working these long shifts, and before you know it, you're going to gain 50 pounds and have heart problems. And we see it all the time, right? Like, I don't know what the statistic is now, but it used to be like the average life expectancy of a cop after they retired was only like a few years.
Wow.
The way they treated their body. Now that's probably an old school statistic. Like I said, I think the younger generation that's coming up is a little bit more, they live that life a little bit more, but
McDonald's, booze, and stress.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's the prescription for a heart attack right there.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm on it right now.
So, it's when you see those, again, we see these videos and I see that really heavy cop on patrol, like a really fat cop on patrol.
Oh,
I'm
Miami,
saying, what is
man.
he thinking? What is he thinking? And how does the department let him get away with that?
Well, that bothers me because this was in New York too. And whenever I saw cops that were super out of shape, the belly bomber cops, right? Yeah. It bothered the hell out of me because, one, to get that way, you have to be drinking. So your body's like relatively slim, but your belly's way out here. Yeah. That's because of drinking. That's not even eating, And then obviously you drink, you eat bad. But it really bothered me because to me, the cop is supposed to be kind of like the model citizen.
Yeah.
And the model citizen
in a whole bunch of different ways, model citizen and
Now, I'm not knocking the guy that might have a thyroid problem or something like that, but the majority of them are having a refrigerator problem. So
Did you hear that, Jason? I'm not sure if you picked that up. So let me ask you this: have you ever been in a situation? I'm sure you're using your jiu-jitsu and making arrests. Have you ever been in a situation, personal or professional, where jiu-jitsu is like literally, maybe saved your life or really helped you in a situation that if you didn't know jiu-jitsu, it would have gone the other way?
Yeah, and particularly when we used to be able to use neck restraints, that was like my go-to, because I'm not a big guy. I'm only 5'8", 170. So most of the people I deal with on the street are bigger and stronger than me, men, right? Like, so when we had neck restraints available to us, I can't count the number of times that I've had to use that to safely control somebody and get them in handcuffs without getting my ass kicked or having my partners get their ass kicked. And so that was a big thing for me. And yeah, a lot of different situations. You mentioned Walmart. I had an incident in the loss prevention office of Walmart where we told the guy who was under arrest, he was probably your size. And he was like, "No, fuck you. I'm not going to jail." Well, the space, I don't know if you're familiar with the loss.
Like a box.
You're fighting in a phone booth, right? And so there's not a lot of options available to you. I used a neck restraint on him. The fight was over in about 10, 15 seconds. He went out, we put him in cuffs, we woke him back up. I gave him a bottle of water. Off we went, and we don't have those options available to us anymore because, again, politics and feelings got in the way and took that away from us. So, but jiu-jitsu in general, like Kimura arm locks, I use the Kimura a lot when we're going in to handcuff somebody. It's a very effective tool and a way to control somebody. If you use it to pin people up against walls or squads if they're acting up while we're trying to get handcuffs on them. So, yeah, I've used it a ton, and it's been huge, because before, like I said, if I didn't know that stuff and I was just relying on brute strength, I'd be like a lot of these videos that you see where the fight goes on for 5 minutes and everybody's exhausted and,
and somebody's hurt.
it's like, let's go have a beer now.
So Drew's a new gym owner.
Yes.
Black belt in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, black belt in September. He owns his own gym now. What do you suggestions for guys like Drew who own their own place as it relates to offering this kind of training? Do you have any suggestions for these guys? Because I think sometimes, again, I've had 2 schools. I've trained at others, to open mats. I've been at 2 schools. First one was with Kinney. He was in law enforcement, but we really didn't go into like those tactics, because I told him that I was one of his first students. As soon as I said I wanted to do some tournaments, we changed kind of to a tournament style. My school now, tournament style. I think it's just like other habits that we've talked about. It's kind of hard to break out of those habits and to offer a new class and have to get a new teacher. Do you have any suggestions for, and I'm not saying that Drew's got to offer the classes, but for guys like Drew who own gyms, what do you tell these guys as it relates to offering these kind of classes?
Yeah, a few things I found that work pretty well, because obviously, like, if you can do a law enforcement only class, maybe one day a week, Wednesdays at noon, for example, it's like cops come in and they learn basic stuff. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it's just for cops so they can feel comfortable. Maybe if they've never trained before, whatever, they can come in. The other thing you can do is like reach out to some of the local agencies, because a lot of local agencies don't have the space for training. So they might have to rent an outside place to do that. They might not have mat space. So you could offer up your gym as a place for them to come in. Maybe you charge them a nominal fee to come in and rent the space from you, but it's a good way to get them in the gym. The other thing too is like seminars, law enforcement seminars. So my buddies from Invictus Law Enforcement Jiu-Jitsu Collective, they're doing a seminar. They do seminars all over the country, but they're doing one here in April down in Austin at one of their gyms. And I'm actually flying down to teach for that. But those seminars can be a really good way to get people in the door as well and expose cops to jiu-jitsu without their department like forcing
it upon them. Yeah.
It's something else that I got from speaking to him is maybe contacting like the academy, and trying to get I'll offer it, like just teach it for free at the academy every so often, and then give it like offer them to come to the school afterwards, or get with like a company like what is it, Adopt a Cop?
That's one organization.
Yeah, one organization. Yeah, like Adopt a Cop.
And Mitch would be a great guy to reach out to as well, because I know he just started the Adopt a Cop program, and that's been going really well for him. I've talked to him online a few times about it and stuff, and he's doing a really great thing there. So yeah, that would be awesome. You could, and if you put together like a law enforcement only class, you put it together, you send it to your state's post board, get it post approved, so cops can get post credit. For showing up, taking the class.
What's that post credit? Is he saying?
Yeah, so every state has a post board. It stands for Peace Officer Standards and Training.
Oh.
They're sort of the governing agency for all of police training for that state. So they have to approve what it is that we train if they're going to give us credit for it. Because we have like a certain number of training hours as police officers throughout the year.
I understand.
So yeah, you could put something like that together. That could be a good thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, lots of ways to get it. It's just a matter of getting cops in the door, getting them exposed to it, and then
in the marketing world, I always say nothing sells better than free. So at least in the beginning, it's to offer that as hey, free training. A lot of guys do that with military guys right now. Free gi, train for the year. Something like that. I mean, it's a way. And it's just like they're regular people too. We get a kid in the school, then the mom starts training. Then the dad starts, then all of a sudden we've got the whole family. We do a family open mat on Saturdays now because of that. People are coming with their kids and the kids are on one side, parents are on the other. So, in the beginning at least, like offering it for free, but then, they're going to buy gis and they're going to buy T-shirts and they're going to support and they're going to be talking about it and you have other people and it just grows.
For sure.
So
absolutely. And discounts too for like law enforcement and military. That's always
for sure.
Or first responders,
First responders, yeah, for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about and do you know Freddie Trillo? Freddie from in Miami.
I know friends of friends.
Okay, he's definitely someone to speak to. I know he was on the show and we talked a little bit about jiu-jitsu for law enforcement. And the reason I bring his name up specifically because he talked about he found jiu-jitsu after getting his ass beat while he was on the job.
As he said, he almost got killed.
He almost got killed. And he talked a lot about gun retention. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in the videos that I've seen of yours, Jason. But do you also teach in that side of things? You're talking about gun retention and jiu-jitsu as it relates to gun retention.
Yeah. Yep. I haven't put any videos out on it yet, but it's in the plan. Okay. I do want to do like a series on that, specifically using the Kimura as kind of a universal tool from a lot of different positions to get people out of your gun. But there are a lot of great courses and stuff out there specifically for that. And it is something that cops need to train and be aware of because unfortunately we're sort of living in this time where people aren't afraid to grab your gun, and try to get it out of the holster. And if you've never experienced that, it can be obviously a very stressful thing. And if you have no training whatsoever, you're not going to have much to revert to. And that gun might come out. So yeah, definitely it's something cops should train. I don't think it needs to be the only focus. And I have a feeling sometimes with traditional police defensive tactics, they train for a lot of situations that might occur, but the probability of those things occurring are not that high, but they don't train enough in things that we do all the time, which is grabbing onto people, telling them they're under arrest and putting handcuffs on them, and then having that person pull away. And then the fight starts. That is probably the most common scenario that we deal with on a daily basis across the country. So yeah, but definitely train weapon retention. You have to know it and you have to be comfortable with it.
Okay. So we have a listener question, and I think you chimed on into this thread online, but JSuch85 commented when I put out a couple of posts for questions. Besides BJJ, do you agree that officers should take advantage of striking training? And he says, at our gym, we mix up strikes with our jiu-jitsu, but for those that don't, do you think they're not taking full advantage of training?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you have the time and somebody even in your gym that understands striking, and I think it's super important to add that to the mix because there's a lot of cops that have never been punched in the face before. And as you guys know, when you get punched in the face for the first time, that can be a very eye-opening experience, right? Or eye-closing, I guess.
I mean, you could tell if somebody never been punched in the face. You know, they might be a little mouthy.
The way they pull away, or the way they react.
No, I mean like people like a little mouthy.
Brazen. Brazen. Yeah, they got.
Oh, okay.
No, you've never been punched in the face.
Their balls
before,
are bigger than they actually are.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Objects.
Yeah, I do think it's important, you know. Well, like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
Hey, my dad raised me well then. In that case.
That was one thing I did. After I got my blue belt, I started boxing. So I was an amateur boxer for a while, and I loved it. I loved boxing. I competed. After I got done competing, I coached for a while. I really liked doing that. I got a few concussions, and I'm 40 years old now. So I was sort of like, I don't think I can really spar anymore because I'm afraid of getting more concussions. But yeah, adding striking to the mix, even from a perspective of like, from the defensive aspect of it, right? I preach the punch, cover, clinch drill all the time. Because if you watch any fight video on the internet, what is the most common thing that people do? It's the big wild haymakers, you know, and what we see a lot in policing from the videos and stuff I've watched and I've seen on the street, if someone's trying to punch a cop in the face, they're normally like backpedaling and trying to swat the punches away. They end up off balance with somebody on top of them, or they're just taking shots because they've never experienced before. This is a very common, like, natural response, right? But if we can learn to attack the threat, if that guy's going to throw those wild punches and I know how to close the distance, right? Wrap him up in the clinch. I know how to take him down a million different ways from the clinch. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do. So yeah, if you could like put on some regular 16-ounce gloves or even like MMA gloves and add some striking into your jiu-jitsu, I think that's a really, that can be a really positive thing.
Well, yeah, we learned when I was in karate that shortening the distance, if somebody's winding up, just step in and they can't do the punch. They can't. So you elbow, you do something else.
For jiu-jitsu, I mean, it's usually we're going to go to the clinch. We're going to take you down, you know.
Well, just by stepping in, you thwart the punch and now you can do a grab or whatever. I don't know what you call it in jiu-jitsu because I'm new.
No, you're not new until you put on the gi. You haven't even put the gi on yet, so you're not even new.
Yeah.
All right, so Jason, we got a little speed round here of questions that I usually ask. I'll let you ask the big one at the end. Just less conversational from us, but a little bit more to get some feedback from you. So, okay, our first question is: if you can go back in time, what would you tell the white belt you?
To calm down.
Okay.
That's a spaz.
So now I'm going to add a one A onto this, or one B. If you can go back in time, what would you tell yourself as a rookie officer? The rookie officer you, what would you tell that guy?
Probably the same thing, to calm down and realize that things aren't necessarily as big of a deal as they might appear. And you can take some deep breaths and assess the situation a little bit differently.
Gotcha. All right, number 3. What's the craziest? And the Walmart in the loss prevention office might have been your one, but what's the craziest jiu-jitsu related thing that's happened to you on or off the mat, or even on the job?
Man, yeah, like the Walmart thing. I guess like it's funny because when you've been a cop for a while, things that you thought were crazy a long time ago,
that's
just not crazy anymore, right? Like, I've seen so many crazy things and done a lot of crazy things that I don't know that I could just like pick just one. I don't know.
Well, we've gotten oil checks, broken fingers, throw up, somebody throwing up next to somebody's head on the mat, like in mount, then they threw up, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had people try to bite me,
Okay.
There's a lot of that kind of stuff that happens, but it'd be tough to think back on one of them. I've wrestled with naked people,
I've wrestled with naked people.
Me too. I have. I think we all have. Not with my gun on my head.
Exactly.
Wait, was that figurative? Am I missing something?
Yes, you are missing something.
Maybe the gun spice things up, you know what I mean?
So, most important piece of advice for someone looking to get into law enforcement?
So find training on your own, like train outside of what the department is going to provide to you, because that's going to help you in the long term.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that's great advice. So, biggest regret as it relates to jiu-jitsu? If you have one.
Yeah, probably not starting sooner.
I was gonna guess it. That's a big one.
I was 30 when I started, or 29, 30, and I wish I would have started when I was 12.
This one isn't one of my speed round questions, but when I think about somebody like you that trains jiu-jitsu, how many days a week are you training?
I usually shoot for 3. If I can do 4, great. But
because I'm thinking, I'm pretty sore right now. I hurt my rib today a little bit. Something's going on there. So every time I bent over, I sneezed before. It's like, I couldn't imagine waking up the day after training and having to, sit in a car, be in a situation where I'm going to have to use the jiu-jitsu. Like you might have to, like on the spot, get out of a car, start running after somebody. Because I'm 47. I'm always sore. Something's always hurting. What is that like for you? Do you kind of space out your training based on days off and like, I need a recovery day? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I usually try for like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Mm-hmm. And then if I do train on the weekend, like on a Saturday, Sunday, I'll go fairly light. One thing I've been doing now for the last probably year or 2, I try to stretch every day to some degree. It doesn't always have to be like a 45-minute yoga session, but I try to do some flows, keep my body loose, and that seemed to really help. And also drinking water. I try to drink 100 ounces of water every day, which also I think has had a really positive impact on just my general feeling. Because I'm 40, I feel your pain. I felt like I was always sore before. Yeah. And stretching and hydration, I think, have really helped with that.
What else do you do for recovery? Do you like supplements, things like that? Are you into that kind of stuff?
I take not a lot. Like I'll do like whey protein. I do a fruits and greens shake like in the morning, so I can try to get all my greens in because I know that's really good for me. But beyond that, I don't do a lot of like recovery. Sometimes I'll sit in my bathtub with like some Epsom salts if I'm really sore, and I feel like that helps out. But I haven't tried any like the cryotherapy or any of that crazy shit. I don't know.
I've been doing and I know this isn't like the ice bath, but I take a cold shower after every training session now. And I feel I can tell the difference between when I do it and when I don't. Like today, I was really quick. I trained this morning, had to get ready for the podcast, was in and out of the shower, and I'm like super sore, probably a little bit more sore than normal. But I feel, especially like at night, coming home from a training session during the week, cold shower, as cold as I can get it. I usually start it at, so it's not like complete shock, like you drop it into an ice bath, but kind of start it at cool and then slowly make it colder and colder, and it's bearable. But I feel a lot better when some of those aches and pains go away. The same aches and pains I know that I would normally sit on the couch and watch a movie with my wife later that night that I'm going to have, those things go away. But I mean, that's me.
Do you still turtle when you go slowly, when you lower the temperature slowly?
So turtle in our world means something different. I'm not sure what it be. Oh, I know. Okay, I get the turtle. I know what it means in his world. All right. You wanna lay the big one on him? Now, this is a very important question. I'm going to let Drew ask this one.
Drum roll, please.
This is super important now.
Do you or do you not wash your belt?
I do not wash my belt.
Yes! Oh, no! Okay, that's all we have for you, folks.
Friends.
Take care, Jason.
Me and him and I are friends.
Okay, now... Okay, so the
now
second
going to
part...
say team no wash belt.
No, well, we do. We either do hashtag team wash your belt or it's hashtag powers in the belt.
Powers in the belt, baby.
Why don't you wash your belt, Jason?
You know what? It's honestly, it's not because of really any superstition. Because I will say this, like, there's a bunch of different companies that make it, but like Tide makes a spray that like kills bacteria and stuff. Okay. I will occasionally spray my belt with that stuff.
Team spray your belt.
Team spray your belt.
That feels like belt washing to me. I don't know. Tide?
No.
Spray? Go ahead, Jason. Finish. Go ahead.
I don't do it that often, and I don't put it in the washer and dryer ever. So I guess I don't know if there's a specific reason why I don't do that. It's just sort of like I throw my gi in, and the belt just like I just keep the belt separate. I don't know. Maybe subconsciously, I think it's got some like secret powers or something.
Well, Drew says it's the powers in the belt. Drew says he's like, you're gonna wash away all of the.
Honestly, it's just bullshit that they told me when I was a white belt that I just haven't got over. It's like I'm not washing.
I don't think anybody ever. I heard about that, but I don't think again Kenny being excuse me, my current coach, don't wash your belt. You can't, old school, like he's Brazilian, started training here in the U.S. once he came to the U.S., but he's just like anti-wash your belt.
He's a police officer, right?
He was a sheriff. I think he was a sheriff and in the jail. What do they call it? I'm sorry.
A CO?
Yeah, a corrections officer. Sorry, I believe but the sheriff's department down here does both, right? But I think he was on the street and he was a corrections officer at a point. But yeah, he's anti-wash your belt. But I caught him because his wife says, who's she's our there's a husband and wife black belt team, Sophia and Felipe Amarante, throwing him out there. She has thrown his belt is so frayed and worn out. It's gray. It's one of those. It's like really gray. You can see the white
Can't
underneath.
wait for mine to turn like that.
She has thrown it in the wash. She told me, she's like, yeah, I mean, she's like, I picked it up. It was stunk so bad. She's like, I had to throw it in the wash. So I tell him she washed it. So you washed your belt.
So that's the thing, right? Let's say you leave it. You know how you wrap it up in the gi? If you leave it in that and it starts smelling like the gi, then you have to.
Yeah.
All right. But
I mean, I listen, I do, like I think I said this on the last show. I have two belts now. I had Flow and Roll, one of our sponsors, sent me a belt with my name embroidered. So I have both of those now. So I kind of wear one, switch it up. But I usually lay it out. Until recently, I was laying it out. Now, kind of because of COVID and just, I come in. I never did this. I'd always get at least two training sessions, get my gis, get them dirty, and then throw them in the wash together. Now I throw my gi in after every single training. If it's just one gi, I throw it in with my belt, usually wearing a rash guard underneath. Maybe I had a T-shirt on that I wore home from after that training, and I just throw everything in the wash now. That's just me. But I always, like let them dry, hung them to dry, and then wash them every couple of weeks, maybe once a week, couple of weeks, But I'm not a believer in I've lost my power. But I think
when the game warden comes to your house and says they caught your belt trying to go into someone's house,
when my belt goes to open that by itself, that's when I know that it's time to wash it. All right, Jason. Listen, we're going to give you a chance. Do you want to give any shout outs to I don't know if you have any sponsors or if you have any info on the app or where they can go. We usually give our guests a little time to give some shout outs, whether again it's sponsors or something you've got going on. The floor is yours.
Yeah. So I do have my app coming out here. Hopefully, probably within the next couple of weeks. Like I said, it'll be a place for you to find techniques, solo drills, workouts, kettlebell workouts, bodyweight workouts, mobility stuff. So if you never stretch and you're trying to figure out like, what do I do to kind of get rid of these aches and pains? I'll have a ton of like mobility, yoga flows, static stretches, stuff like that, as well as nutrition. So if you are thinking like, what am I supposed to eat every day? I'll have monthly nutrition plans or shopping lists, weekly meal planners, give you some ideas on meal prep. Really everything that you could need to live the jiu-jitsu lifestyle. That's what my app is for. Obviously it's geared toward cops, but it definitely can be used by anybody really that's interested in self-defense jiu-jitsu. So that'll be launching on the App Store for Apple. It'll be an Apple app. And then I'll probably do an Android version here soon. But beyond that, if you're looking for just general kind of technique videos, jiu-jitsu content, you can follow me on Instagram, jiu-jitsu 5_O FIVE. Go to my website. We've got a lot of branded jiu-jitsu gear, rash guards, skis, belts, bags, the whole thing, hoodies and tees. So yeah.
And people can send you questions, right? You can have, whether it's an officer or just somebody training jiu-jitsu, they can send you a message typically on your IG and ask you, maybe present a situation and say, can you show, because I see you when you do some of your videos, it looks like you're kind of reading the comment, the request from somebody, and then you're showing that move, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do, we try to do a live class, usually like once a week or once every couple of weeks on IG, and people can ask us questions, and then I record all of those so I can go back and post it if there's specific questions that come up, because I know there's probably a lot of cops that have the same questions out there that maybe weren't able to tune in. So yeah, absolutely. Send me a message.
And who's your buddy? We didn't give your buddy a shout out. I'm not sure if he's a partner or if he's just somebody that he's your jiu-jitsu dummy, basically. Who's your buddy in the videos? He's a police officer as well, right?
Yeah, I got a few guys. Most of them are cops. I've got Colin, who's a black belt. You've seen him in some of my videos. Brandon, he's a fellow brown belt. And then Kyle, my buddy, he's a blue belt. He's been in a lot of my videos and stuff too. So I do have some guys that help me out filming content. And we talk about a lot of stuff too, like, hey, what's a position, like what scenario have you been in where maybe like you would have used this particular thing? And we kind of bounce those ideas off of each other. So yeah, they've been great. It's gotten to a point now where I can't do Jiu-Jitsu 5.0 all by myself. So I have, I do have
It's
other
a good
people.
problem to have.
Yeah.
It's a real good problem to have.
It's been great.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
You
Well,
probably like technique.
yeah. Yeah, I was gonna mention it. I'm not sure. We have a sponsor, the Technique.io, TEKNEEK, which after we let you go, we're actually going to do a review video on the show here at the end. You're actually able, you know what Cameo is, right?
Yeah.
Cameo, you can pay like a star to say hello to you or send it as a gift to somebody. Well, people can upload a video and then you can provide analysis of that video. So I'm not sure if you've got time in the day for it, but I think you would be an awesome addition for them. As somebody who can take a video like the ones that we talked about, like the Walmart videos that we're talking about, and then you comment over the top, and somebody pays you to do it. It's we set ours for the podcast because they're a sponsor. We just put it at $5, but you got guys like Robert Drysdale and Rob from McDojo that are like $20-$25. And again, somebody submits the video, it goes right to you. They have a tool where you're able to actually comment and record. You can even have your face now in the corner, but you can record your commentary on a training video, situational, or competition. So I'll send you a message. I'll put you together with Alex. Look, it's always good to put people together. If something comes of it, great. At least you meet somebody cool. But I think that might be a great place for you. It'd be an additional place for you to kind of talk about what you do. We're listed as Jiu-Jitsu Dummies, not me or Drew or anybody specifically. It's the podcast. So, maybe you'd be able to put up, Jiu-Jitsu 5.0 would be another way for you to get some more eyeballs on your stuff. So
yeah, I love it.
I'll shoot you a message. We'll introduce you guys.
Absolutely. It'd be great.
All right. So again, listen, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. We're going to let you go. We've got more for you guys, so stick around. But Jason, thank you so much, man. We'll talk to you soon. And please come back when you have the app out, and let's talk a little bit more about it. We'll put it on the screen. We'll talk about it a little bit. Let's do that.
For sure. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you very much.
Take care,
good
Jason.
Talking to you, bro.
Stay safe out there. But when I move the computer, he freezes it. He didn't freeze the entire time until I moved the computer. And then it
might
froze.
just be the connection there.
Yeah,
possible.
yeah. So I think it might be something. I didn't touch it the entire time.
I just want to tape it.
Very cool guy, man. We got a little bit more to go. You're able to stick around, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, because we're gonna do we'll do our housekeeping. Let me get the let's get our logo scroll back up on the screen here. Oh, it should have been queued up.
I talked to my partner today. We're gonna do the Patreon.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
For sure.
Cool.
You start shouting us out.
Yeah, man. we got lots of that to do. So
we're looking here or there?
No, we're done here. This is just, it controls the logo scroll. It's the same as the one there.
Oh, we're doing the intro right now?
No. We're still recording. We're live. We're doing our exit here. Our what we call housekeeping. Let me put that up. So let me just get rid of that. So, all right. So we're gonna do technique in a minute. So we're gonna comment on one of Miguel's competition videos. So we'll get to make fun of him a little bit. So again, listen, thank you guys for sticking around. We got a lot more here. So stay with us. But let's talk about. You could check out our GoFundMe for the foundation, where we're now back to awarding scholarships to veterans, first responders, and kids. So just look in the description here or go to our IG at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies, click the link in the bio, and you can find all the different ways you can be involved with the show or donate to the foundation or our Patreon that you just mentioned. So again, at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. You can also find us on Facebook, and then you just facebook.com/the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies Foundation. You can actually donate on the Facebook page and on our IG page as well at the JJD Foundation. All right, so Facebook owns Instagram, and they allow you to put that tool on both of those platforms. So if you look at the top of the page, it'll say donate. You can donate right there. Check out the podcast store at jujitsudummies.shop. 15% off with code JJD. We have new ranked rash guards, tees, face shields. I just put up a new new podcast T-shirt. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming for you. It's not here yet. Got you some rash guards, some T-shirts. I got something over here. I got like a windbreaker that doesn't fit me that I bought for myself. It's like I bought an XL, but I think it's going to fit you. It's ran real small, but we do free shipping on orders over $50, and again 15% off with code JJD. Support the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies Foundation on Amazon Smile. Check out our Instagram again at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies, and you can get instructions on that setup. All right, let's jump into the technique. So, how familiar are you with technique? We're going to look at it here. We'll be able to look at it right
I'm a
here.
black belt. I should be, familiar
No.
with technique.
I mean,
You're trying to expose me as a front? No,
no, I'm not trying to
Fake
expose
black
anything.
belt.
I like my knees too much. I don't want you grabbing me. All right,
I don't grab your knees. I'll grab your heels.
Yep. That's kind of, see, that's how much I know about the leg stuff. So, all right. So, technique.io on Instagram, and that's the website name as well. Right. So, Technique is, hey, there's Rob from McDojo. So,
he did this?
No. He just happens to be one of the pros.
Oh.
So you can actually ask him business related questions because he does a lot of stuff with, everybody knows him from McDojo, but he also does he helps out gyms and, with marketing side, student retention, getting new students in. He had some really great advice on how to help people retain students through the pandemic. Like, hey, are you going to lose that student? Try to charge them, piss them off, lose them. Or talk to your students and say, hey, listen, I'll charge you half, stick with us, it helps support us, and we're going to just wipe that slate clean. When you start coming to training, you just go back to your normal price. Or even more than that. He had some really great tips on that. So he's on there for that as well. So I noticed that they kind of, the featured pros here. So just so you know, right, the listeners out there or the people watching on YouTube will be able to see this as well. So they're going to see this screen. Yes. So he's added a lot of new people. We're down. We're in the mix here. There we are. We're right here.
Right there.
Right. So you've got again Robert Drysdale is over here. Elliot Marshall, UFC vet. Right. So let me log in. Now we've got Miguel's video uploaded. So
we're looking here. Then.
We're the pro. No, look here. This is the exact same thing. Yeah. So we've got. We're listed as a pro, so my access gets me into the pro section. I go into analysis. Now, you on your a student or somebody looking for somebody to review a video, they would go in, they would upload the video, they would pay whatever the fee, $25, $25, $10, whatever the pro has indicated they want to get. You can control your own, profile. They're able to upload. It doesn't actually charge their card until after you do the review and submit, right? Gotcha. And then once it's submitted, the card gets charged, and that you've now paid Technique. Technique pays the pro. So let's kind of jump in here. Now there are some new features that they've added. I think we'll kind of discover them together. So you see the speak test. I think I kind of did this already. We're going to enable the camera, and the camera's actually now going to put my face there. You see?
Oh, okay.
There, down at the bottom. The microphone's enabled. So we're going to start recording. Right. So now this is Miguel. There's no sound from his end, right? Because now it's recording everything we say right now. Right. So this is Miguel. I don't think this is his first tournament.
Ooh,
this
was that like an armbar attempt right there?
Well, what we could do is we can go back.
He does well. He's doing well in the girls' league. Yeah.
So we can go back. I can click back and I can go back by frame. I can go one frame. I can go really slow. I can go back X amount of frames. Now I can also say something like this. I can go, well, his arm was in the wrong place, and I can indicate what I'm talking about to the user. You're smiling. You like this. This is good stuff, right?
No, I just like that. Like he went for the attack. My cousin Devin, he does that shit all the time. That little sit down arm bar flying thing.
Okay. So so let's go back there. So we're gonna go here. He went for an inside trip. Okay, we do this all the time. He needed you need to get that leg a little further over the head, kind of lock it over the head by the shoulder. So that's what he was going for. We work that all the time at our gym.
Gotcha.
You're in that you can also go for the omoplata right after that. So go ahead. Feel free to comment. All right, we're telling him you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong. I'm going to defer to you as the black belt, so I want you to commentate a little bit more if you can. I'll be the source of comedy.
Okay, so I don't know what just happened there.
So again, so we can go back
What
as
happened
the
to his
pro.
grips?
I can go back. There you go. Right.
Yeah.
So we can
Let's
go
see some
back.
grips,
Excuse me.
bro.
So I can go back. So now, I don't.
What tournament
love,
is this?
This is an IBJJF, but I don't remember which one this is. To be honest,
God,
I think
jiu-jitsu
this might have been the last Orlando
All right.
Orlando event. I'm not 100% sure. Now, I definitely.
It looks so strange backwards.
I don't love being. I'm not very flexible, and don't like getting stacked. I got the gut, so I don't usually like to. I probably would have let go of this a little bit earlier. What would you suggest he does here? I mean, he should be right. He should be trying to push him back and getting on top here.
But I don't know why, like this arm right here. Why did he didn't grab the sleeve and then turn it into the omoplata?
Okay.
The heel
All right,
to
so
the
they're
head
out of bounds.
Yeah.
The heel to the head is cool.
I mean, that's always cool, bro.
He's mixing strikes in there.
You know, but you got to do it slick, right? You can't like strike him, but you know.
All right, so
All right.
back.
All right, so Miguel, your stance, right? I wouldn't suggest standing so high like that because if you go against a wrestler, he's going to double leg you into the stands.
Okay, agree.
Right, and then this right here, it's like you. Okay, so I see he's setting that shit up again.
Okay, stop and think just out of bounds again.
Okay.
Are you a guard puller?
Hell no.
Do you like that?
I know they have this shirt that says anti guard puller club. That's me 100%. Yeah. Because I don't like pulling guard, but I also like leg locks. So it's like, I'd rather wrestle.
So I mean, you got to pull guard. You can pull guard, grab the right. I mean,
like if he's a better wrestler than me, I'm gonna pull guard, but I don't like it. Okay, so he has that leg up. See,
you'd be all over that leg right here.
Yeah, because my mind goes straight to heel hooking, right? Because I'll grab under there and then try to kill in the K guard and do backside 50-50, like but you can't do that in the gi. So that's where my mind went. But all right. So what's he trying to set up here?
I think he's trying to kind of set up a sweep, which I watched it one time. I'm not sure if he actually gets it here.
Okay, good. So he's trying to pull his posture down because that dude's posturing up pretty high. Okay.
There you go. There
Boom.
it is.
See, now he was thinking heel hook too. You saw it?
Yeah. I don't know if they could do heel hook at this level.
No, you can't do it in the gi.
Well, and now it's only brown and black anyway.
Yeah, but you can't do it in the gi.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh, you can't even do. Oh, really?
Yeah, this is not prison rules, bro. Come on. All right, pass. Okay, Miguel, I'm gonna need you to get your dick to the mat when you get inside control. Like, I know this is taught. You know what I mean? It's taught a lot, but
that's not in our gym. That's not taught. Like we usually have one leg extended. Usually, I mean, it just it's kind of one leg extended and one you're connected by at least one.
Because you want to feel heavy.
Yeah.
Especially in a tournament, you want to be all, and he's up on points. You put your dick to the mat and you extend that leg, and he's gonna get real fucking heavy.
If I can say, as a big guy, if I have both of my knees attached to their body, it's because I want them to take the opportunity to roll and give me the back. I'm not nervous about them rolling away from me, so I will. I'm baiting them to. That's his alert on that side. I'm baiting him to actually give me the back or try to roll. Oh yeah, giving them the false confidence that they can get out.
Yeah, but I'm just talking like I got you. I totally understand that, and just as in Miguel's case, it's like in the tournaments, right? I'm not all for like playing the point thing, but if you're up on points and you got them in side control like that, make them suffer, especially in the gi. Grab a hold of that gi and fucking get all your weight on there and just make them suffer. Tire them out. Yeah.
We are fight sports. We're under Cyborg.
Yeah.
That's a no. That goes without saying. Yeah. In fight sports.
Under fight sports, I get it. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it was a blue belt under Cyborg. Cyborg, I still remember a lot of his moves in the gi. I still use them to this day. He was one of
pressure, man.
Yeah, but I like the fancy jumping around twirly shit. Like his the little tornado takedown.
So he's here again. That looks like he's going for that same sweep again.
He's going for that sweep again.
Would you be doing the same thing here at blue belt level? Not saying at brown belt or no-gi. Would you go for both legs like that and try to go for that sweep?
I mean, if it's there, hell yeah. Yeah, if it's there, if they're gonna give you that, fuck yeah. See, I like this. Boom, side control again. All right. So
See, normally we'd have one leg extended.
Yeah,
and
because that makes it super heavy. Or you lay your head on that opposite side shoulder.
Yeah, he got out there because he wasn't heavy enough.
Yeah. Or if you're gonna be up like that, and as soon as they move, you need to jump to knee on the belly. But I like how he's trying to attack the back. See, so if he grabs a seatbelt here and then he digs that left leg in and just kind of walks forward a little bit, then he could. But that was okay. What's going on here?
I think that was a little too fast. I mean, right?
Yeah.
We talk about submission, a position before submission. So let's just kind of go back a little bit.
Some sort of control, but I mean, he's up on points like that.
Yeah. But just because you're up on points, do you kind of, and you know, I love you, Miguel. It was kind of a little sloppy there. Kind of threw himself over. What should he have done differently here? Let's go back to the beginning.
I do that Gordon Ryan back take where you. So if you go back to it,
he should have had his right leg in.
Nah.
Right.
I'm saying I like he was in the position. I like that position.
Yeah.
Because you grab the seatbelt and then you stick that left leg in there and you start walking it forward. Because it opens up his arm. And
if I can, I'm asking, not telling.
Yeah.
Here, let's go forward. Here, he needed to get that right leg in before I feel like he should have.
Oh, you're talking about that? Yeah.
He should have put his right leg in
before he jumps
a little bit lower, right?
Sure.
Before he jumped over, and he eventually.
Yeah, he got a little excited.
Yeah, he got a little excited. The guy got rolled. I say this every day. I got this from Kinney. Space is bad. There's a lot of space here. Yeah, he got up. He threw himself over. Yeah. It's kind of slightly detached from him right there at that point.
You know what would have been cool?
He needed to be a little bit tighter on him.
Yeah. You know what would have been cool if he went to since Cyborgs guys doing the owl.
I don't know what the owl is.
You guys don't know the owl?
No, I don't know. I mean, I might know the move. I've never heard anybody call it an owl. Move,
but you grab the top of the collar of the gi and you grab the belt and you jump on the back.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right, you sit there perched like an owl and then you jump up and pull and then shoot your hooks in.
Yes, I've seen that move many times. Yeah,
I love doing that.
You know who
used to from Cyborg?
Yeah, I've had it done to me. Yeah. You probably did it to me.
I probably did. Yes, I did.
You did do that to me. I know you'd be like,
purple belt me.
This son of a bitch is just sitting hanging out on my back.
All right, so this is so he's in half guard right now. Okay, well, kinda. He's in some like butterfly thing going on. So the bottom guy
being butterflied.
Yeah, but let me see, Miguel. Where are you at right now?
So he's got 27 seconds left. I'm sure he's tired at this point. So,
yeah, for sure.
At this point in the match.
See, this point, you see how his leg is right there? You say, fuck it, and just drop back for a leg lock. See, this guy... All right, so he's trying to get I know that this is a couple of months ago, and he was new. He's relatively new at Blue Belt. Yeah.
So he just got his Blue Belt this last year.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He did great.
He's tough. He's a tough roller. Miguel is a student of the game of MMA, of UFC, of Jiu Jitsu. Yeah. Like he's on flow He's on flow grappling all the time, shooting me stuff like, watch this. Did you see this, guys? Okay, so that's the end of the video. But I mean, we're still recording, so we're still kind of talking to him from a Miguel as somebody whose video we just reviewed. He did good.
Yeah, for sure.
As a tool, I think this is an amazing tool. I like this. It's coming. It's evolving. I know that Alex from Technique told me something along the lines. I'm not quoting him, but a lot of the pros are asking like, "Hey, can I use this tool? I want to upload a video and like review it for my student or this and that without like I want access to the tool." Yeah. So I told Alex like sometimes the business kind of steers. Yeah. Like tells you where you need to go. Mm-hmm. Like there's an opportunity here. Do I take this or do I stay with my model? So anyway, they're growing. I see that they're adding pros. I really like the tool. I've had fun. We did one Patreon, one of our podcast patrons. We did her video on the first episode that we had them, and now we did his. I like it. We're gonna we're gonna like kind of play with it, and because it's multiple people, give a little bit more of a funny take on it. But for somebody like Robert Drysdale, who's not going to necessarily know the person, right? He's giving a legitimate take on the video. So okay, so let me just kind of show you if I can. So we would stop recording.
Oh, see,
And then I'm sorry. Did you want to do something
I was
else?
just going to tell. Well, I mean, Miguel.
No,
watched
we're
this, yeah.
still. I mean,
Yeah, so I just want to say, like,
resume.
you know,
Wait,
I like.
hold on. Resume.
Oh,
We're recording
my bad.
again.
Oh, we're recording.
Yeah, I was able to go back into
so
it.
I just want to say, like, Miguel, that was really good. I like how you stayed calm the whole time. You didn't look like you spazzed out not once. Your positional control, like, you kept going for things. You didn't stop, but you also didn't tire yourself out. And it was good. You kept attacking, and so that was really good. I don't know how the rest of the day went.
One or two takeaways that you think he could improve on. I think we said the side control, probably right, a little bit heavier.
Side control, especially in a tournament, right? With the points. If it's sub only, he could do that all day, right?
Yeah.
No problem. But with the points, you're ahead on points. You get in side control, dick to the mat, and then you start working from there, nice and slow, and grind them out. Because when you stick your dick on that mat, and I know I keep saying that, but
Yeah, I know, man.
yeah, but like when you
It's a
get
family
those
show,
hips
but
down,
that's okay.
That's a sticky dick.
stick your dick in the mat. Right. When you get all that pressure on their chest and they're trying to push you off and stuff, it's very little energy from you to just stay on top of them. So just a little bit more grindy.
Okay.
Stick your head in, like, on his face over here.
Yeah, pressure, shoulder pressure.
Pressure when you're passing.
Okay.
Just to get them tired.
All right.
Sub only, do all that other stuff, but just get them tired. But
Okay.
awesome match.
And thank you for letting us use your video, Miguel. We love you.
You're the man, bro.
All right, so we're going to stop recording. I could preview it and play this back to, like, I could preview now and see what we said.
Yeah.
In this case, I'm just going to do it to publish. So it'll publish here. It's uploading the video. Now it's going to leave my analysis tab. I would get paid for that if we, Alex uploaded this for us. But if Miguel would have uploaded this and paid for it, right, it would now pay us, and it would be gone from my analysis tab as a review video. So, number one, love the tool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Number two, any of our listeners, anyone, if you want to upload, we're going to do what we did here with Miguel. We're actually going to review your video. The occasional video, not every single video, and it even says it in our profile, but the occasional video we're going to choose, and we're going to actually do it just like we did today. So not only will you get the published video that we send back to you through Technique, but we'll actually also have you on the show. So
we have an official Technique segment.
Yes, we do.
Nice.
Every once in a while. Probably,
Nice.
we're up to recording 3 times a month, so at least once a month we're going to do this.
That's pretty cool.
I appreciate their support. I love the tool. I love having sponsors that I'm actually going to like and use. It's better when you actually use it or you like it.
Yeah.
So that's even better. So anyway, that's our Technique review for this episode. We're going to let you guys go. I'm Uncle Milty, BJJ on IG.
Drew_Phoenix.
Give the gym out as well.
Oh, and at A&M BJJ.
All right, guys. We appreciate you hanging out. We love you guys. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Peace.
Boop. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Doo-doo.